can't cough. Look.
Oh,
Look.
you started?
Yes. Geese is losing it. She's having way too much fun. She's at Aaron's battle station. She's got tracking camera. She's coughing. She's going left. She's going right. She's juking. The camera is now behind the monitor. This is insanity. She's going into all sorts of. Oh my God, she's trying her best. She's got so many voice changers and modulators.
How did that even happen?
Geese, what have you done? Welcome to Look Listen with Geese and Guyera. This is a podcast. Oh, she's still coughing. This is a podcast about Pokemon and other things. My name's Guyera, and that's Geese. And today, it's everybody's favorite holiday, Labor Day. It's the Labor Day special. She's still trying to fix the camera. That's pretty sick. We're, of course, going to watch an episode from Generation 4, Diamond and Pearl. I'll do my best to make that make sense for why I picked it for Labor Day later. I'm not going to worry about it right now. Geese, how's it going?
I'm so sorry, Kyra.
Let me tell you, Geese. Geese,
Mm-hmm.
a lot has happened in the last week since we spoke. I don't recall when we last spoke, actually, because the timeline in my head was not making sense. But I have gone to... Ooh, Geese is giving me the most confused face I've ever seen. I went to, of course, the Game Awards in Los Angeles, as I expressed last week. I got to see Dan Reichert of Dan Reichert fame, and I spoke to him.
Did you give him my message?
Yes. Here's what happened. Okay. So I walk up, I tell him it's me, Guyera. Dan gets so excited, shaking hands. He's super nice. He introduces me to Mike Mahardy. And he says, Geese is shaking her head no. He says, and I'm sure you know who this guy is. And I say, hello, Mike. My name's Michael, too. And then I start to explain to him how Dan calls me Guyera and he thought it was a cheese. And then I walked away from Dan and then quickly turned around and said, oh, wait, one more thing. Geese Peep specifically says hello. And Dan said, tell her I said hello back and give her a hearty thumbs up from Dan. So he gives you a hearty thumbs up.
I should have made you print out a Venmo request from me or something. Or given you a QR code that just goes to my Venmo.
That's so good. I very much should have done that, Geese, via you telling me to do that. So yes, Geese, that's correct. I went to the Game Awards, which means I got to see that child storm the stage live and immediately asked everybody in the Discord, did they air that? Because here's the thing. Everybody's talking about, oh, the security was bad or what have you. The microphone was not on, Geese. The microphone was off when he was trying to talk into the mic. And then somebody decided to turn it on for the trespasser intruder. That's
Wow.
the person. I need to know who made the call. Oh, turn it on. This kid wants to talk. Oh, God. This random little child behind these Japanese middle-aged men.
A lot of people speculate that because of this incident, that this will be the last Game Awards that are open to the public.
I feel the exact same way. I feel like this is terrible because there's no way they're not going to have way stricter everything, which is annoying for me because I've been to so many of them. Now then, I can tell you this much. Elden Ring deserved to win Game of the Year, but if God of War Ragnarok had won, that would not have happened. There would not have been language barrier confusion. Christopher Judge would have not let a child walk up to that microphone because everybody who worked on Ragnarok would have immediately seen this little boy and said, who are you? And that would have taken care of that real quick. So who's to say who really should have won? Who's to say?
How did you feel about that man's very long acceptance speech?
Christopher Judge gave a very, very, very long speech, and they didn't start playing him off until about 4 hours into the speech. And the whole time, the television, I was sitting right by the television that gives messages to people on stage, and it just kept flashing, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. And I mainly feel bad for Jeff Keighley because of how much he went into, guys, we're going to have a nice, tight, quick show. It's only going to be 2.5 hours, no fluff. We've got a concert that has to start at an exact time. And you could see Jeff Keighley was pretty, like, they kept going back to him after the speech, and he kept making jokes and jabs about, looks like I got to talk fast, huh, Christopher Judge? Jesus Christ. Luckily, everybody else was very respectful at the time, I noticed. It was only... The funny thing is, you never see that in other award shows. That can happen maybe at the end of the night, but not for the first award, to just send the entire program spiraling. And I started thinking about all the musicians just sitting there like, aren't we supposed to be playing by now? Just waiting and waiting. I was not as offended and upset as some of the people I've seen. Oh my goodness. But he went on too long is a very reasonable opinion to have about our boy Christopher Judge. So if you win another award at the Game Awards, maybe a little bit faster next time. Geese, do you have other Game Awards questions before we jump into watching, playing, eating, listening?
Was there any like free gift bags?
Geese, I wish. Normally when you go to the Game Awards, there's a big man dressed as a razor giving out hundreds of free razor blades. Gillette Mach Turbo 16s. But
Oh,
no,
wow.
Geese, not this year. This year, but here's the difference, Geese. I knew I needed to go to this Game Awards because there's a few I haven't gone to, didn't really have an interest, because every time I went, they were really just begging people to go, meaning I would get emails with just 4 free tickets to go, and there were so many empty seats, and that became a big joke when they would pan the cameras over to just a completely empty section. Rocco Bodie of Mega 64, he became part of a meme because he had an entire row to himself. And so they just get showing his picture, and he was making jokes about it like, I'm sorry, I thought I smelled better. Something along those lines. It was kind of Dan talking about it that made me realize that this was going to be a big year with a lot of reveals. And Geese, when I got there, that place was packed. I've never seen so many people in that theater. Every single seat was taken. It was something else. I was sitting by I wish I remembered the name of the game. It's a Sony game. I could tell that everybody near me worked on it or had something to do with it, because when that trailer came up, they started losing it. They were clapping and hooting and hollering and pointing their phone at the big giant screen, and they were excited. I can tell some of them weren't really... Their reaction told me that maybe they don't play a lot of games, they don't know how the Game Awards works, because they were very, very surprised that God of War won a lot of awards, but then Elden Ring won Game of the Year, which happens constantly at that show, and it makes a lot of sense if you know anything about how the voting works. So clearly they're not big gamers, but they certainly work with Sony in some respect. It was kind of fun being near them and watching them get all excited. That was fun. Greg Miller and Jeff Gersman were behind me. The Giant Bomb crew was in front of me, but for some reason, Dan and Mike got way better seats than the Giant Bomb crew. they got like way up, like close to the front. I actually didn't see where Mary's seat was. Maybe she was in the middle section with me and Giant Bomb and Greg Miller and Jeff Gersman, but I never saw her. All right, Geese, that's probably enough Game Awards talk. If you think of something else, please ask me later. It's the Labor Day special. Let's jump into looking, watching, playing, goofing. Geese, please tell me what you have been watching this week.
So Aaron is making me watch Andor.
Forcing you.
And I think we're on the 4th episode. We just ended the episode where they're like right about to start this plan to rob the payroll system. And I'm really anxious because I don't want any of these characters to die.
Clambos, don't spoil it for her. No tweeting or emailing spoilers, please. I'm not saying nothing.
But it's good. I get anxious and I don't want bad things to happen to good people.
Oh, Porky. She's just too empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
The world hurts her every chance it gets. Well, Geese, this week Here's the problem with me. Everything I want to watch is on a streaming service that I don't currently subscribe to, and I'll be gosh darned if I'm about to add another subscription service. And Hulu, I've used every email and credit card imaginable, so it's going to be real tough to get another free trial of that. Peacock, I can't even find a free trial. I've been listening to the podcast called The Office Ladies, which it's the actresses that played Pam and Angela in The Office, and it's very entertaining, and it's making me want to watch The Office. So I've just been watching a lot of clips on YouTube of The Office, but there's certain episodes I want to watch, and it's a bunch of hullabaloo. I thought about getting the Blu-ray box set, but it's pretty expensive, even though it's on sale, geese. But it's not 4K Blu-ray. But then I talked to some people, and they said, well, it's a TV show. They don't do 4K Blu-rays of TV shows because it takes so much time and effort. And I go, oh, okay. But I did watch a little bit of the film Batman Mask of the Phantasm, which I haven't watched since I was a child. I think it's probably pretty good, but I didn't watch a lot of it. Geese, please tell me your video games.
So I still have been doing some Vampire Survivors, and that's pretty good. Um, I love to see the gems I'm collecting and the bosses I'm killing.
Now, when I played, there was no way to kill death unless you did some weird glitch. Are you able to kill death in your runs?
I'm not at that point yet. And then playing more Fortnite. Today is the beginning of Winterfest, and I'm not quite sure what that means. I booted up Fortnite right before this to make sure everything was updated. And I get in Fortnite and I go to this like winter lodge where you can like open a random present. And my game was so slow and was just stuck on like one screen that I couldn't close Fortnite or restart any or like go to my any of their programs on my computer. So I had to force shut my computer down,
Sick.
turn my computer back on, and I see the logo pop up and underneath it says repairing C drive. So I'm hoping my computer's okay.
Is Aaron here?
Yes.
I,
Scared me.
I heard a lot of clapstering and clambering and doors opening and keys moving, and then Geese looked very scared.
Hi. Aaron has garlic bread.
Some good eyebrows.
Thank you. Oh, oh, oh! I've been having fun with the camera. Okay, bye.
Bye, Clambos. Good podcast.
So yeah, hopefully my computer's okay.
Probably not.
Probably not. Speaking of computers, I've been in the process of backing up all of my data from my graduate school because when I graduate on Saturday, it's all going to be removed.
Saturday, is this some sort of digital event, or are you going to dress in your graduation gown?
There is no event. I don't even know if I'm getting a diploma.
Nice. I don't even know if this is a real college. This could be a scam. She's thinking about it.
Actually thinking about it. I think my last address associated with me in the university is at my old place in Austin, so I hope they don't send a diploma there.
Uh-oh. Was it student housing?
No.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you're in big trouble. And Geese, oh my goodness, I haven't even played the Mario Kart tracks, the new ones.
I've played some of them. They're better than the last round of the new ones, but they still feel a little shallow.
Oh no. I saw a clip. One of them, I saw that the last lap you drive backwards, and that could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Which is
That
similar
was
to Paris,
confusing.
maybe? The Paris level, I think you're always passing by people. All right, Geese, I'll get into my video games, which more than I initially thought when typing up this doc. So today is the release date for, as of December 13th. Oh, it's December 13th. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, which is, of course, Clambos, the remake, remaster of the PSP game that came out 15 years ago called Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. Clambos, we never thought this was going to happen. For the longest time, we thought, oh, the rights are all goofed because of the Japanese entertainer Gact being featured in the game, playing the role of Genesis, I believe is his name. And he performs music as well because he's a musician. Because this is one of the few PSP games that was completely stranded. They never even put it out digitally, like a lot of games at the time. It was only ever on UMD, and they never ported it to PS4 or PS3 like they did Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts, and like the God of War PSP games. They ported those. So we really thought we would never get to play this game again, and Square Enix proved us wrong, Geese. And now it's available with trophies. You can play it on Switch if you want. It looks pretty. Well, it kind of looks pretty. When you're playing it, the models look good. They look cool. 60 frames per second, 4K, all that. But Geese, the cutscenes, oh no. That's just a PSP video file just pooped out onto your OLED, and it does not look great. I know there's a lot of people out there trying to decide where to play it. Do they want to play it with trophies in 4K on a PS5? Do they want it on their little Steam Deck or a Switch? The choice is yours, Clambos. I like trophies, so of course, I'm playing on PlayStation 5. And then in super exciting video game news, as mentioned last week, I'm I finally got my Steam Deck. No, why am I goofing? I got my analog pocket. So I've been playing Pokemon Leaf Green, which I apparently own a copy of. And I've been playing Star Wars for Game Boy, which is not good. And Drill Dozer, which is a very good game, but I don't know if my cartridge doesn't work anymore because that game has a Rumble pack built into it. I think maybe just Rumble doesn't work on an analog pocket, but you can buy an adapter to make it work. Something along those lines.
You used old game cartridges for the analog pocket. I thought you just like got like ripped games on
Well,
it.
Geese, here's the thing. Legally speaking, it is 100% only for actual legit purchased video game cartridges. And somebody in the Discord was saying there's actually a lot of features right now that only work on actual legit cartridges. Analog in no way supports or endorses using ROMs in any capacity, Geese. That would be insane. So, Clambos, don't do that. Only use real video games. Oh my god, Geese. Game Boy games are so cheap in Japan. We're gonna lose our minds. There's so many Game Boy games. And I'm going to get some Pokemon cards because, well, I'm jumping ahead, Poke News of the Week, but the new Scarlet Violet set is going to be out by the time we go to Japan. Okay.
Oh, does it come in different colors?
It comes in black and white. Oh, for audio listeners, I'm showing Geese an analog pocket.
Looks like a really thick old iPod.
Yeah, I can see that.
Who makes it?
Analog. Do you hear it? Clambos were dancing really hard.
Sick. I know that.
Geese knows that. I'm trying to show. Oh, Leaf Green has such a silly feature where it gives you a giant. Here's what you did last time you played, in case you forgot.
What's your
It's so
character's
difficult
name?
to play. I'm playing like backwards. Trying to show Geese. Oh my god! In person, it looks so good.
What's your character's name?
Evidently, this file I made when I was trying to do a canon playthrough. It's just Red, which is that character's name is Red. I don't know. I really don't know if that is my original Leaf Green cartridge, and then I just saved over my main file. I'm pretty confused as to the origins of that.
So with the analog pocket, can you make multiple files in the same game?
I believe so. Yes, but that would be on an SD card. You couldn't. I may be talking out of school here, talking out of turn, if that's the phrase I'm looking for. Because that wouldn't work. Because you can, from Game Boy Advance generation on, you can scooch Pokemon up all the way to current Pokemon Home in the new games. So you couldn't take a Pokemon that's saved on an SD card. It would have to be on that cartridge. That's an interesting question, Geese. I think it has save states. Calambo's right in. That's something I should know for somebody who owns the product. What was I going on about Pokemon something? Oh, the most likely scenario is that I transferred all my Pokemon from Leaf Green up to Generation 4 through the Poke transfer system of that generation. So after all the Pokemon were gone, I probably just restarted the game. That's what makes the most sense. Geese, please tell me, and feel free to be as detailed as possible about what you have eaten in the last week.
So Aaron and I have had Guyera's favorite meatball subs.
I mean, if there's no pork in it, I'm fine with meatball subs.
They're good. They're just from Firehouse Subs. I like meatball subs. They have a sweet and spicy one. Very good.
They used to be my go-to at Subway. I would get their meatball sub because there's no pork in it.
Ooh.
And Geese, I'd say load on that marinara sauce and
I want a soggy sub.
Sago Soggins. Mr. Sandwich Artist or Mrs. Put as many banana peppers on that B word as possible. Oh my God, Geese. The
Mm.
pepperoncinis. Any little yellow
Ooh.
circular little guy. I'm all about that life. And then Geese, I would, of
Me
course,
too.
and then, of course, I would get 3 raspberry cheesecake cookies. Please heat it up in the microwave. Thank you. And it was a big treat for me.
You know what I always got at Subway?
Geese, what
I
did
just
you?
got
No, Geese, let me set you up. Let me set you up. Give you a good, clean beginning so you have time to think about it and you get to say it. And it's a good. Geese, what was your go to at Subway?
my go-to at Subway was a tuna sub with white bread and just tuna fish.
Geese, you're insane.
Which
You're
is
out of.
questionable whether or not it's actually tuna fish, but it tasted so good.
I don't know what people are seeing out of tuna fish in mayonnaise. I think I'd rather end it all.
Oh well. I don't know, it's good. It's so good and I crave it all the time. If I see like a tuna sandwich sub at like an airport, I'm like, "Oh, do I finally crave? Do I want to risk it eating a tuna sub before a flight?" you know?
Do I finally crave? Geese, I am concerned because every flight I used to take, I would immediately choose my seat, which of course has to be an aisle seat because I drink so much water and coffee. So that way I always have to go to the bathroom and I can stretch my legs and they don't get all goofed and combobulated by sitting for too many hours. But Geese, every flight I've booked, now they're telling me, oh, I'm sorry, you cannot choose your seats ahead of time unless you want to pay us a bunch of money. And Geese, if I can't get an aisle seat, I'm going to lose it. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
That's Is this on Delta?
It's on everything Delta, United, you name it. This is recent because I never used to have this problem. It's like it's like these lower price tickets you get from Priceline. They're now upset at you about it because before it would kind of still tell you, oh, here's the benefits you get. Now, when you look at your ticket, it says, here's all the things you can't do because you've got basic economy, you poor peasant waste of space. And it's very disheartening. Luckily, I am hoping with the flight to Japan that time of year, I'm thinking not too many people, maybe, and I might just maybe have a spot. What I'm trying to say, Geese, is I don't think it's going to be a fully packed flight. So I think I'll be okay. But this holiday season flight I'm going to take, ooh, I'm worried, Geese. What am I going to do? Just sit there in a middle seat like an idiot and not drink anything because I don't want to bother my seat neighbors?
That's what I do. Oh my gosh. On my flight Saturday to come to Wisconsin, there was a fight and the two women had to be separated. Like there's some kind of disagreement and before anyone could like get off the airplane, a like customer service police officer had to come on and like interview the two women.
Are you
It
flying
was wild.
Spirit?
No,
Oh my
Southwest.
God. Wow, Southwest. I mean, Spirit Junior. I don't like Southwest. So wait, they were fighting on the plane or before boarding the plane?
No, it was like during the flight, and it wasn't like a physical fight. There was just like some kind of disagreement, and like, oh, I was too far away, so I couldn't hear what was going on. Lady, like, get up and like turn. to the lady behind her, yell at her, and
Okay.
I'm seeing all these gestures as I'm listening to a podcast. All the flight attendants come separate the two women. It
Like,
was wild. I wish I knew what happened. Ugh.
hey, there are a lot of people who like to tweet about their experiences on planes, so the information may be out there. But on the other hand, there's also a lot of people that like to yell at people who talk about things that happen on planes. So it's a 50-50 shot there. If you just start Googling, or not Googling, but searching Twitter or what have you for what happened on that fight on that plane.
Also, food news.
Food
Aaron
news
is
with
gonna
geese.
make the viral TikTok feta pasta tonight, and I hope it's
Ooh,
good.
with the pink sauce that was mailed and an FDA hazard.
No, that's a different TikTok viral food.
Oh,
8
Mike,
ounce block of feta cheese and cherry tomatoes and olive oil, and you put that in the oven for a long time. Then you make pasta, and then you take it out of the oven and you stir it with the pasta, and it's creamy feta, and it's yum yum yum.
sounds incredible. Happy Labor Day, every Clambos. It's Labor Day. Celebrate by taking the day off. Stop working, Clambos. God. For me, eating, I know I ate more than this. I just can't recall everything. I, of course, at the Game Awards, ate some popcorn from the Microsoft Theater because I did not want to have to use the restroom while the show was going on. Dan Reichert had to use the restroom while the show was going on, and they locked the doors for a while because they don't want anybody walking while it's broadcasting. So they don't open the doors until an ad comes on, and then you see a bunch of people pour on in because they went to the restroom. I ate a street pizza, geese. It was
Mm-hmm.
barbecued chicken. Unfortunately, no
Mm.
cilantro. But what I've learned today is
Hmm.
that you can substitute cilantro for parsley because the tastes are similar because it's from a similar family. But geese, oh, Geese is giving me some eyebrows. I didn't even realize she had strong opinions about
Why?
cilantro and
First
parsley.
of all, barbecue pizza. Mm. But
Barbecue chick.
also, why would you put cilantro on that?
It's not me, Geese. That's normal for in Los Angeles when you see street pizzas. Maybe it's just a Hispanic thing, but they put cilantro on pizza and it's very good.
I
But
have the cilantro gene that makes it
oh,
taste like soap.
well, never mind then. Cilantro on anything for you is going to be gross down. But here's the thing: I got a little bit of tumbo afterwards. A little bit of. Not feeling too great, and I thought maybe I goofed it on the parsley because clearly they're cooking it in an oven. You heat something up that kills all the germs, but if you're just dabbling your little parsley that's been sitting out, who knows what has crawled into that parsley? So that's probably what goofed me. But it was still pretty tasty. Not as tasty as it used to be, but it's all right. Is that really all I have for eating this week? If I think of something else, I'll tell you. Geese, let's keep moving on like a train. Okay, Geese is very excited to do Reporter Geese Peep of the Week this week because let's send it off to Reporter Geese Peep. Pikachu. Reporter Pikachu. Geese Peep is in, of course, everyone's favorite city, Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Hi, I'm Geese Peep, and I'm in the lovely city of Sarajevo. And it's currently 45 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's raining. And
Reporter Geese Peep, are you okay? Are you being chased by a cat?
the famous cats of Sarajevo. The wind is one.
The Wimbles won? The Wiggles?
Okay, and that's it, I guess.
There's no
It's.
wind or rain?
I said the wind was 1 miles per hour,
Oh, I'm sorry, Reporter Geese Peep. Must have been
and then
when you
it's
were being
raining.
chased by predators.
um, I think that's it. Okay, bye.
The crackles. Sorry, sorry, Clambos. I don't know what happened to our connection there when we were talking to reporter Geese Peep out in the mountains or valleys of But
I think it's surrounded by mountains.
yeah, probably you would imagine. Name one place that isn't Geese? Am I right? Okay. Clambos,
Orlando.
it's time for Pokin' News of the Week. And boy, am I excited. I've already spoiled it a little bit, but okay. Look, listen. We're getting the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon trading card game set in English, and finally, they are switching from the ugly yellow American borders to the sick silver borders of Japan. And that color goes so well with everything because it's neutral and it doesn't clash with any of the art, and it looks so good. And they're changing a lot of things to make it closer to how Japan does it with their little set numbers. Makes it easier for people to tell what rotation you're in, and it looks like a good set, and I'm very excited. Now, Clambos, there is bad news tied with this news. Poke trading card game news. The prices of the cards are going up. So a pack now costs 50 cents more. But on the upside, you now get 3 foil cards or holographic cards. Because in the past you could get a rare card that wasn't holographic, but now that will never happen. All of your rare cards will be a holographic. And then I'm imagining the other 2 cards are going to be a reverse holo, which we've always had one reverse holo in the packs of Pokemon cards. So it should be sick. I, for one, am excited to see these new cards. Also, in Poke News of the Week, we've got some new mystery gifts for sandwich ingredients. Now, Clambos, I can't lie to you. It's not that exciting of a mystery gift because all these sandwich ingredients you can buy for 50 little Poke Dollars, which is nothing. And it's a weird one, but hey, have fun, everybody. Type in your tomato slices in the mystery gift and get out there and make those sandwiches. What, Geese?
Sandwiches? What?
I've told I've told you about this, Geese. In Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you have little picnics, and in the picnics you make sandwiches, and the sandwiches give you all sorts of little buffs, like it makes shiny Pokemon more easy to see, like it increases the spawn rate for shinies, or it makes certain Pokemon appear more often, or you get more items in raids, and you make a million different sandwiches by combining all sorts of different ingredients, different condiments and meats, and a million different things you can make with the sandwiches. Sort of interesting. Geese, what is that little smirk? Geese, what is your worst job? What was your worst job?
Probably working at the snack bar at my pool as a high schooler. Just dealing with annoying kids and it's just very rude moms and getting burned on fryer oil and having to change fryer oil.
Oh my god.
Not fun.
Sounds like a terrible time. I'll tell you, Clambos, what my least favorite job was later on in the episode. Geese, send them off to the break, please.
Please enjoy this ad break. We'll be right back.
Geese, this has nothing to do with anything, but I just watched the recently released trailer for the Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection, and I'm excited about it. Apparently, there is going to be online play. You can trade in battle, just like Pokemon. Very exciting, but that doesn't come out till April of next year. Oh my god. Come on, jeez Louise. Geese, the worst job coming from before the break, the worst job I ever worked was, of course, working at an amusement park, and it was horrific. Oh my god, Geese. I would get these chafed legs every day, and I'd have to every night go into a bathtub with warm water and use a bunch of what's that stuff called? Talcum powder or baby powder for my poor legs
Yeah.
going up against each other. Horrific. I, it was a fun job to quit because I was working there over a summer when you actually had things to do. And then the summer ended and I was still working there when there was nobody there. So there was one ride, those kind of rides where you take them up and it just goes up really high and people look out at everything. So there's one of those, and there's always 2 people over there, and we always what we would do is one person could sit inside and just relax, and then the other person can stand around and see if anybody's coming, and we just split off or switch. So one person could sit in there and one person just stand there and look out. Well, apparently my second somebody wasn't doing anything or wasn't there because some higher up person just waltzed up on there as I was just sitting inside, and I asked him, "What would you like me to be doing?" And he said, "Oh, I'll tell you what I'd like you to be doing," and then said something dumb. And so I think I quit that day. Just like,
Did you have to clean any Vombo?
no, they had janitors for that, I think.
Do you have to tell people like, "Oh, you're too short to go on the ride. Sorry."
Yeah, but I would always request to work the little kid rides because I preferred them. So that didn't really come up.
Why? Why do you prefer them?
I guess fewer people showed up to that one, so I could just sit there and daydream more. That we'll do more Labor Day questions later, Clambos. How about it's time for some Pokemon? How about we jump into the episode? Geese, please tell me the name of episode 39 of the Diamond and Pearl seasons anime block Pokemon.
Steamboat Willies. Pikachu's caretaking.
That's such a silly name, and I'm surprised they got away with that. Just Steamboat Willie. So silly. In Japanese, of course, it's Pikachu no Orusuban. Norusuban. 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 Okay, Clambos. It's time for me to try to explain myself as to why we're watching this episode for Labor Day.
I was
When
also curious about this.
Well, Geese, sometimes it gets difficult. And I saw the the name in English or the Japanese name translated, and I thought Pikachu's caretaking. So Pikachu has to do a job. There's a couple ways you could look at this one, Clambos. Hey, I don't have to explain myself to you, but I'll try anyway. There's a couple ways you can look at it. You can look at it as, oh, they're having a fun day off. The Pokemon are getting to play and have fun and not worry about doing their job as Pokemon that have to battle against other Pokemon.
That's
Or
true. That's a good one. That's a good connection.
or even better of a connection, you can look at it as, okay, it's Labor Day. So in this episode, both Pikachu and Piplup have a big important job to do because they're going to be babysitters for all the Pokemon. Because this is pretty rare where the trainers just bounce and say, okay, Pokemon, you take care of yourselves. And Pikachu is up to the task, and Piplup is adorable. Oh my God, he's so cute in this episode.
Can I say a hot take?
Geese, no. If you say you don't like Piplup, I'm turning up the recording.
It's just a boring design. He's just a penguin.
He's a cutie pie. His
He doesn't
personality.
even look like a Pokemon. Like, I feel like
What?
I've seen generic clip art that just looks like Piplup.
Well, it doesn't look like a Pokemon. It's something people have been saying for such a long time. But I have a deep connection with Piplup. He, to me, looks incredibly like a Pokemon. I don't know
What's
what to
your
tell
deep
you.
connection with Piplup?
He's adorable. He's the cutest pie you could imagine. And of course, I always pick water types in all my games. So I always would pick
Why?
him in a Generation 4 game because that's how I started. I keep up. You know that. And you Clambos are aware. I have all my Pokemon traditions, such as I always pick water type. On my team in a new game, it always has to be all brand new Pokemon. And I have like specific type coverages that I got to hit. I care more about the designs than how strong they are, but I still want to keep type coverage. And typically, I will incorporate the box legendary onto my team. Sometimes you can't do that as easily, and sometimes, like, I'm in big trouble. I always pick the more, another rule is I always pick the more blue version as my main file. So blue, silver, sapphire, diamond, white, black 2. That one's difficult, but Zekrom has more blue to him than Reshiram. X, moon, sword, violet. So those are the more blue rather than red versions.
What was the legendary for Diamond and Pearl?
That's Dialga and Palkia. Dialga is much more blue than
Is
red and pink
Dialga
Palkia.
the big whale?
No, Dialga is he's the ruler of time. He looks, if you Google Dialga, I mean, he kind of looks Well, his new form looks like a centaur
Mm.
from Legends Arceus, but he's just a goofy dragon kind of dude. Stands on 4 legs, got a bunch of jaggy design looking symbols on him. He looks better than Palkia. I'll give him that much. But yeah, Piplup's so cute. Maybe he's no, even in English, I know he's cute. I don't know what your problem with Piplup is. He's adorable.
He's basic.
Geese, you leave that little boy alone. Precious baby angel child.
I think this episode is really unique in most of the ones we've seen because they use the same music in the Japanese and the English version. I checked and they do. And
Interesting.
I think that like this is the first time that's happened.
Well,
Because
when
I
the
was
music
watching
is really
and
bad,
I was like, yeah, it was bad, but like you could tell that it was like custom made for this episode. And that's very unusual, oriented towards what's going on, which is unusual for English. And so I checked, I asked Guyera for the Japanese link, and yeah, it's the same music.
they do have the Pokemon actually playing instruments. So for that, they would need to, you would think, keep it the same. But the little song Team Rocket does later on, that's got to change, right? Or is it the same tune? Or did you not
It's the
check that
same
out?
tune and melody. It's just
Oh,
the singing's different.
very interesting. Must have something to do with the rights of the music this generation.
Yeah,
Because
I guess.
by the time we get to Sun and Moon, the music in Japanese starts to go so hard. I don't recall if before then Japan had particularly good music, but certainly by Sun and Moon. All right, Geese, we've been what's the word? Lollygagging long enough. Let's get into the episode.
So, at least for English, we open up with a sneak preview of the main crisis of the episode, which I did not realize because this is the first time in Pokemon this has happened. I was like, "Whoa, we're really getting right into the action here."
5
So
seconds.
we just see a bunch of Pokemon playing with like instruments in like a concert hall, and then we cut to them going on a deck of a boat and seeing that there's a waterfall coming up, and they panic, and then we go to the theme song, which in English sounds like Beck, but like
Back.
awful. You listened to it?
Not the English, no. That's pretty good
I
though.
don't even know what they're trying to do. It's something.
They also have a preview in Japanese. They're celebrating 10 years of Pokemon. Very exciting. The intro in Japanese is better than the Generation 3 intro, but still way too much just, I'm gonna say the name of the feature in the video game. And I despise that. That's so bad. The lyrics are very funny in Japanese, though, for the intro. Such classics as I'm not soft and good smile. Very, very fun. Geese,
Mm.
did you happen to write down in English what city they are on their way to?
Yes, they're on their way to Heart Home City.
Hardhome. Okay, that makes sense because Dawn does want to go there for a Pokemon contest. So we open with the kids and they're looking at this beautiful view. They're going to take a steamboat that looks like a whale lord across some water to make it to Hearthome City. In Hearthome City, oh wait, apologies. This boat is apparently incredible. They got restaurants, they got nightclubs, they got everything. So we got Ash, Brock, and a new companion now for us, Dawn, who is of course the protagonist for the Generation 4 games.
I'm not gonna lie, Gaira. Dawn and the other girl from the other episode with the hat,
May.
they look the same. I was like, is that the girl from last time?
No. Dawn and May, different people.
I think. Well, at least May or Dawn sounds just like the idol newscaster from Sun and Moon.
Could be. I think it's a possibility that it could be the same actor. I like the voice actor in Japanese for Dawn. She's better than May. Apologies. No offense to the voice actor for May in Japanese. We cut to, so they're very excited about getting on this boat. We cut to an old man snoozing in a chair, and then the kids are just in the boat already. They walk into the dining room of the boat. Pikachu starts to play with an instrument. The music's very, very bad. And apparently the same in English. But
I
then,
wrote in
wait,
my notes
what'd you write in your notes?
that the old man in the chair was Aaron. I said, "Oh, look,
Got
it's
him.
Aaron."
Got him. So to make a call to action, everybody tweet at response message, whatever I don't know what their Twitter is these days.
Who's to say?
Who's to say? Then I wrote down, wait, maybe the music's okay because it starts to, when the goofy vocals start to kick in, then I'm really feeling it in Japanese. The goofy vocals are good. Everybody throws out all their Pokemon to have a great time on the boat, the cruise ship, Whale Lord. Ash has got Turtwig and Staravia and Apom, and then Brock and Dawn throw out all their Pokemon, which is a combination of Weasel, Baneri, Piplup, Pachirisu, Happiny, Sudowoodo, and Croagunk.
I
And
haven't seen half of these Pokemon before. I
Generation
haven't
4,
seen Electric Squirrel,
Pachirisu.
Pink Orb.
You've never seen Happiny?
Mm-mm.
She's Chansey's pre-evolution.
The bunny one.
Baneri.
I've seen all of the other ones except for those.
Geese, all the Pokemon are out, and now it is time for fun. So Pachirisu and Happiny are having fun playing with the little rings, and then Piplup shows him how to play ring toss, and he throws it up in the air, and he doesn't make it, but Pikachu at the last second shows off and hits the little peg with the ring, and everybody applauds, and everybody's excited. The children are confused as to why nobody is on this boat. So they yell at the sleeping man who is still on the dock while they are on the, what is it called, Geese? The starboard side of the deck, the boat, the deck. Okay, here comes a point, Geese, where all I gotta say is I cannot relate. Because let me tell you the dialogue exchange that happens. They ask the old man, what time does this boat set sail? The old man says noon. Ash says, it's a long time until noon. I thought to myself, what time is it? Because never in my life have I had the opportunity to say it's a long time until noon. And I mean, not even just me waking up with groggy eyes, going out of bed, can I say this? You've got 3 adventurers fully dressed, make their way all the way to the boat. All their Pokemon are out, fully rested, ready to roll on a boat. What time is it, Geese? Unless it's 12:15 p.m. and he means the next day, what time is it that they're saying noon is so far away?
They said the same exact dialogue in English, and I have the same exact reaction because I'm usually waking up at like 10 on a good day.
Oh my God.
I would assume it's like 9 a.m. and Ash is just like exaggerating. I don't know.
So they woke up at crack of dawn just to run to this boat. My Lord. So they apologize for waking the old man up. Then they start talking about what they're going to go do in Hearthome City. Don's got to do a contest. Ash has got to do a gym battle. And Brock asks the old man, hey, do you know any good shops for some Pokemon food? And old man says, of course I do. And they have a discussion about the store that's through the forest, and that's where they're going to go. Ash starts to yell at the Pokemon, okay, Pokemon, time to go. We're going to go to the store. But Geese, he notices all the Pokemon are having the time of their lives, having so much fun.
The frog Pokemon is lost in the sauce, as the kids say.
Croagunk, he enjoys himself, Geese. Croagunk likes to stare at himself in the mirror and watch his cheeks inflate and deflate. And he likes to just sit there. He's having a good time.
I cannot imagine ever leaving unsupervised Pokemon that have abilities like electricity just roaming around a ship. First of all, the liability. I was just thinking about throughout the entire episode, I hope Ash has insurance or something. Like, it's just incredible. Why would you ever leave unsupervised magical beings on a boat? Of course something's gonna happen. There's like so many of them.
So the old man makes the suggestion, well, if your Pokemon are having so much fun, why don't you go shop and the Pokemon can just stay here? Which Geese.
On this very expensive, assumingly, boat that's just devoid of any humans. Just free reign for the Pokemon.
Free reign.
Who have magical powers.
Well, Geese may not approve, but the Pokemon are excited. Ash says, Pikachu, you're in charge, and Piplup can help too. Pikachu is embarrassed by a compliment when I guess they tell him he's going to do a good job. Geese, oh God, immediately, once the Pokemon are in charge, we got Happiny and Pachirisu going to jump off the boat and die. They start to fall off the boat, Geese. Pikachu and Piplup go run over there and try to save him. Geese, were there other Pokemon too? I know Happiny eventually helps out.
I don't think so.
So the Pokemon are falling off. Pikachu and Piplup manage to start grabbing them. Happiny somehow manages to get back up onto the boat, I suppose. And then, so you've only seen this one episode, so you probably haven't gathered this, but there's a thing with Happiny where its character trait is it's a very, very tiny, small, cute little baby Pokemon, but it's stronger than every other Pokemon. There's so many scenes in this season where it just saves the day by picking up a continent-sized mass or something. So that's Happiny's big thing. So Happiny grabs the big line of Pokemon trying to save Pachirisu. Yeah, save Pachirisu. They all make it safe. Geese, it's the Clambos' favorite time of the episode. It's when I ask you, Geese, who shows up next in every episode?
Team Rocket. So Team Rocket's there, and they're in a hot air balloon, as they are usually, and they see all the Pokemon on the boat, and they're like, Okay, I'm gonna turn this off. And Meowth has this whole, typical Meowth vision where he's imagining what will happen for the Team Rocket boss if they capture all the Pokemon and give it to him. He's imagining that the boss will be so happy and relaxed with this family of Pokemon. And we see a montage of the boss eating dinner with the Pokemon, playing with the Pokemon on a slide. Team Rocket, after the montage, starts chanting, "Rich, rich, rich!" which I can relate to.
Yeah, they think once Giovanni gets all these Pokemon that will mean they will then be rich. Does he pay them by the Pokemon? I don't know.
Also, the Team Rocket looks very different. The design.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I can't tell quite the difference.
I'm not a huge fan. James's hair is longer, I think. That to me, it looks like his hair is longer. They have a Mime Jr. now, and Mime Jr. is very adorable, especially in Japanese. Can't speak for English, but he's cute. Then we cut to the Pokemon playing around. Buizel's incredible at the saxophone, is what I've noticed.
What a cool guy.
He's little Weasel. Pachirisu gets super excited when he sees some balloons. He or she, I don't remember or know, because Pachirisu is the little electric squirrel. He is the Pikachu clone of this generation, and he keeps thinking about...
He wants to fly like the bird.
Fly like a bird. He don't know where his home is.
What's the bird's name?
Staravia.
So the squirrel ties the balloons around its waist so it can levitate and fly like the bird.
It's very cute. And then Piplup Geese wants to be a magician, and it's adorable. He's playing with his little wand and little magic rings and hat. So cute.
The monkey and bunny and Happiny are dressed in little dresses, and they're so cute.
They're getting ready for their Pokemon contests. Because we're going to see later in the episode, Dawn is very excited to see all of these Pokemon in their adorable little outfits. She performs Pokemon contests. That's her big thing she wants to do. Pokemon contests are where you and your Pokemon just put on a little stage show and you do moves and then people rate them and they clap and you get a bunch of hearts, whatnot. So we see Pachirisu flying around, causing a bunch of trouble with his little balloons. Croagunk's still just staring at the mirror, just looking at himself, so pleased. Then we cut to the kids shopping. They're goofing off. Dawn goes on about how every morning she gets ready by having Piplup bubble beam her hair instead of showering, I guess.
I thought that was a funny little thing.
because I think she's trying to buy some shampoo and says, maybe I can just shower like a normal person. Brock, we don't get enough of this, honestly, in the episodes we watch. Brock sees a cute girl working at the shop selling flowers, and he asks her on a date, and then several other girls out on a date. And that's the first half of the episode. Then we cut to the advertisements, and we're right back into the episode with a fun concert. Geese with the Pokemon.
With Turtle Pokemon
Turtwig
on the drums, Weasel on the saxophone, Tree Pokemon
Sudowoodo
on the piano, and Pikachu on like the upright bass or something.
Sounds right. Staravia is not a fan of their music at first. It does not sound great. We see lots more dressing up from all the Pokemon. Piplup, oh my god. Clambos, please write in to looklistandcast@gmail.com and tweet and Instagram us at those social media services and tell Geese how adorable Piplup is and leave little gifs of Piplup to change her mind because he's the cutest. Piplup's adorable. Pikachu hears Pachirisu knocking down a bunch of pots, pans, plates in the kitchen. He runs to go save the plates, but in the end, they all end up breaking anyway. Then Pachirisu, Geese, where does Pachirisu go?
He ends up in the control room and he collides with some kind of button, and then which sets off his electricity, and he turns the boat on.
Clambos, we're in big trouble now. After Pachirisu pops all his balloons, he knocks himself out somehow from his electrical attack, and the boat's going full speed. The music apparently is funny in this scene, I have written down. We cut to Pikachu covered in the broken plates. Also, Team Rocket, they don't show Team Rocket getting on the boat, but at some point they must have made it on the boat because they've now started an elaborate stage show in the concert hall where they are dressed as children's entertainers putting on a show for all the Pokemon. And I was laughing so much at the scene because I'm picturing just like hiring a clown for a bunch of dogs and cats. Just go entertain these animals. It's so silly. But the Pokemon are getting into it.
They're loving it. Let me say that the music that Team Rocket sings to sounds like someone opened GarageBand for the first time and just took a bunch of the preset sounds and just kind of had a good time. Such an interesting melody that's going on.
Yeah, and Team Rocket keeps yelling at the Pokemon, telling them to dance. These lyrics are absolutely insane. Geese, let me see if I can pull up some of these lyrics.
In Japanese, they're talking about like crisis and angel and demons.
Yeah, I got a screen cap of this one. Hopefully Geese got a couple screen caps this episode, but it says, the crisis we will convey to the universe. That is a heck of a screenshot. God, Piplup's so cute in his magician hat. Oh my god.
In English, we're going to really show it to the twerps, and they tell the Pokemon instructions, lift your leg up, like line dancing or whatever. It's not as coherent or, I'd say, malicious as in Japanese.
But they still say that they're going to do something to the twerps. That's interesting. And the Pokemon are just going along with it. Okay, Geese, Team Rocket eventually tricks all the Pokemon to do their little dance and march off into the Tunnel of Fun. And then they're going to lock them inside. Geese, I'm not crazy about the Japanese voice actor for James this season. It's not the best. So I hope they change him soon.
A lot like the English one.
Interesting. Now, Team Rocket is under the impression that they've locked away all the Pokemon. Spoilers, they haven't even locked the door yet. He's still holding the key. And they forgot Krogunk, who's still staring at himself in the mirror. And they forgot Pachirisu, who's still knocked out in the control room.
Also, when did they have time to build this tunnel?
God, Geese, that's a great question. Unless they've just had the Tunnel of Fun ready to roll and they were waiting for an opportunity to use it. So then as James is, like any good villain in any cartoon, is maniacally holding the key to lock them all in before he gets a chance to lock the Pokemon in, Pachirisu, of course, falls off the control panel onto the wheel of the boat, steering wheel. What are they called? They have special names for wheels on boats, right? It's not just steering wheel. Either way, Pachirisu falls on the wheel, the boat goes crazy, the key pops out of James's hands, and all the Pokemon can escape the tunnel of love. They immediately all attack Team Rocket, which is kind of scary because nobody told them to do that, but they see that they're bad guys. They go blasting off again. They destroy the boat. There's a big giant hole in the ceiling, and Mime Jr. pops out and is cute.
I hope
And
this boat company has insurance.
me too. And it takes, after all this commotion, it takes that for the old man to wake up again and notice that the boat is gone. Then the kids immediately show up with their bags full of groceries and whatever else they bought in the shampoo in the store. Oh my God, Geese. The old man tells them, oh no, the Pokemon, they're heading straight for a waterfall. So what happens, Geese?
The old man is like, well, first Brock is like, we need to take a boat. We need to take one of the sailboats. And the old man was like, you won't get there in time. Here, take my Mantine. Gets his Pokeball, opens it, and a huge Mantine flops in the water.
He's the fastest Pokemon ever, says the old man. So Ash and Dawn jump right on the back of this Mantine and they're going to go save the day. Okay, this actually looks kind of sick. Ash and Dawn riding the Mantine, the animation and like catching up to the boat does look cool. Gotta hand it to him. And then Geese, I wrote down, haven't we had this exact plot line a few times already? Just a bunch of Pokemon heading towards some sort of waterfall and then other people going to save them. I'm pretty
I
sure.
don't know. I haven't watched enough Pokemon to know, but
No, I
that
mean
wouldn't surprise
episodes
me.
we've discussed. This has happened a few times.
Oh yeah, the Pikachus.
Yeah, the Pikachu forest. This has happened
Yeah,
before.
there's a lot of waterfall motifs in children's cartoons.
Yeah, it's up there with quicksand. Then we cut to Pikachu and Piplup giving all the Pokemon ship orders, which I think is cute. They're telling him what they got to do to save the day. Happiny is so adorable hopping on Staravia. I gotta get an image of that if we don't have one already, because it's just the cutest, most adorable thing. Are these Pokemon gonna stop the boat? Pikachu runs to Krogunk, grabs his hand because he's still staring in the mirror, even after all the ship turning. And then Geese, he sees Ash and Dawn on the Mantine, and then Mantine jumps up in the air, and then Ash and Dawn jump off onto the boat. And at this point, as they're about to die, Dawn kneels down and compliments all of the adorable little outfits that the Pokemon are wearing. Much like, what was the episode we watched where something similar to that happened? Where there's a bunch of danger and somebody's just going on about something else. It's happened before, is all I'm trying to say, Clambos.
Ash is like, all right, that's nice, but let's try to live.
Yeah, let's I guess. Ash immediately runs to the steering wheel. Piplup makes a whirlpool in the water to try to stop the boat. Then Banir uses an ice beam to make a glacier to stop the boat. And then, oh my God, Geese, there's a big giant rock in the way. Pikachu, use Thunderbolt. Turtwig, use Razor Leaf. It's still not working. It's still not breaking. Weasel, you've got to save the day. Use Sonic Boom. And Geese, that does it. That does it. The rock is destroyed. But then, Geese, what happens?
A big chunk of rock debris comes flying towards a ship, and you think it's going to hit the ship, but at the last second, Mantine jumps out of the water and body slams the rock, breaking into pieces.
Nice.
All with a smile on his face.
Great work, Mantine. We did it. Congratulations, Clambos. They make it back safe. Oh my goodness. The kids thank the old man for the Mantine, and they say Kochira Koso, which of course in Japanese means likewise or as well. And the old man praises Piplup and Pikachu. They did such a great job fighting off Team Rocket, and I mean, all things considered, they shouldn't have been left alone in the first place. We've come to that consensus, but I think they did okay. They did all right. Nobody died. Good work, everyone. Good work, Pokes. And then that's the end of the episode, Clambos. And the outro for the episode, which focuses heavily on Dawn, does the exact same thing as the intro and just lists video game mechanics. They can't come up with any better lyrics than "My new Poke Tech, it's so sick."
Also, there's these like anime serious zooms on Dawn's face. I'm just so confused by. Like, is this in the show?
We're trying to make some Dawn merch, I guess. Trying to make people really become a fan of Dawn.
It's just this screenshot like I took. It just looks like something that's like
It's like
you would never
Inuyasha.
think is. Yeah, you never think it's on Pokemon. You think it's like neon whatever anime.
Did you just say Neon? Like Neon Genesis Evangelion?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I'm getting big Inuyasha vibes. It does look like a different genre of anime, what they're doing in the outro, and it's amusing. All right, fun times with the Pokemon. This was Generation 4, so we've what have we done now? We've done all of Sun and Moon the first season. We've done a lot of the original series. We've done a Generation 3, a Generation 4, a Generation 6. So we probably want to do an episode of Generation 5, even though it's not great, and maybe a Johto or an Orange Island episode. And then that's going to be because we did a Journeys, so that's Generation 8. Yeah, we can probably hit up at least one episode per every generation before Scarlet and Violet anime comes out. Geese, why don't you tell me about your favorite job in the Labor Day questions segment of the week?
I guess my favorite jobs are the one I had in graduate school because they were remote. I knew how to do them. I've complained a lot about grading as a TA, but I genuinely do really enjoy helping students and seeing the progress of their papers along the semester.
They're going to say, see the look on their faces.
And like my other graduate research jobs I do, doing like archival work and working with metadata. Basically, like if the work is challenging enough to not be hard, be engaging, and also if I could work from home, it's a good time.
Nice.
What about you?
Probably the most fun I had was Space Center Houston because of how much fun we had. I've talked about it before when I was a tour guide for NASA. So this is the era when I convinced at least 12 people to all buy Nintendo DSs and Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, which is this series looped back around. Just the amount of fun we would have goofing off and playing, and oh, what a time to be alive. I say that way too much. I just start cutting out.
Did you ever meet an astronaut?
Constantly, yes. The most famous person that I talked to was Gene Kranz, which was the mission director for landing on the moon. Very sick.
Oh.
Ooh.
Did you eat a lot of astronaut ice cream?
Those are so disgusting, and they're not real. Astronauts don't actually eat those geese.
I
They
know.
just sell them in the gift shop. It's so gross. Yeah, that whole cafeteria actually was really gross. They had these things called star fries geese, which were so bad. I love French fries more than anything, but there are a couple places I've seen. One of them is Space Center Houston, and one of them is at a dog track. At the Gulf Greyhound dog track, where I didn't want to be there, geese. I was a kid. What am I supposed to do?
I was reacting to the fact, just the interesting meshing of words of French fries at a dog track.
I wish they were French fries, but they're so gross. They're these potato blobs. In Space Center Houston, they were shaped like stars, and at the dog track, they were shaped like smiley faces. Horrific foodstuffs. They tasted so bad. The only thing I ever liked about that dog track was one time there was a kid there playing Super Mario Land 2 on his Game Boy, and I got to play it a little bit, and that was fun.
Did they close most of those down?
Yes, I think they're illegal now.
That's probably for the best.
Probably for the best. I've met a greyhound that used to race, so it had to be pretty recent, actually. But now this greyhound just has a loving home. But
good.
All I'm saying is I had a ton of fun, Space Center Houston, and it's funny because I probably would have had way less fun if I got the initial job I was supposed to get, which I couldn't get any sleep. I had to stay up all night because I had to memorize this script to perform. It's so funny because this all happened within a few days. I had probably the best performance of my life, audition-wise or whatever, for something. And then the worst, which was just I couldn't remember the lines because I had no sleep. And because so dumb, I had to go to some barbecue party thing where they undercooked the chicken, which was super gross. And I remember that gummy chicken to this very day. I know, disgusting. But anyway, because I couldn't remember my lines, I didn't get the job where you just do a presentation to the kids. So instead of doing the presentation, I became a tour guide where we went all around NASA, and
Mm.
just that was way more fun because I would have only ever seen a couple people. My whole life would probably be very different if I got that one job instead of the other.
Because
Butterfly
you would have
effect.
met Taylor.
No, I know Taylor forever.
Oh, wait. Oh.
Way before that.
Oh, I'm thinking of your other friend you've mentioned.
Good old other friend I've mentioned. I don't know who. But yeah, that's my most fun favorite job. Lots of fun. So many memories. When I first worked at Space Center Houston, Geese, do you have a story like this? How much driving did you do? I don't recall.
Not a lot.
Not a lot. Okay. So maybe you
I
can't
got my
relate to
driver's
this.
license 2021. 2020.
Never mind.
Or
Never
something.
mind then. I doubt you'll be able to relate to this, but I remember driving to work, being a youngster, and just looking at the gas tank and thinking, oh, it'll be fine. Geese, it wasn't fine. I couldn't leave. There was just no gas in that vehicle. So I had to wait for somebody to bring me gas, and it was a whole ordeal. Geese, would you like to give the Clambos a wrap-up for the big Labor Day special?
All right, Clambos.
Ooh, Geese.
Please, Clambos, please follow us on social media at Look Listen Cast, all one word, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Thank you to Keith Squared for her artwork. You can find him at Keith Squared. You can find Keith at twitch.tv/Keith Squared. And
He's
I
wonderful.
love watching his streams. Guyera, why don't you tell us about how people can support us?
Clambos and non-clam. Maybe this is the first thing you've ever listened to. Who's to say? Not that I have a time limit for when you become a Clambo. Just as long as your hands are sweaty and you got a lot of saliva in your mouth, you're good to go. Please go to looklistencast.com and you will see the link for anchor.fm, and you can support us on a monthly monthly bracelets, and we will appreciate you so much. Thank you to all our supporters, and thank you to Professor Ticklebits for our website and our ad read and our boilerplate. And everyone, please recommend this podcast to your friends and family. Here's the thing, it's family friendly, no swear words here, so everybody can listen to it, even your little cousins.
Even grandmas.
Even grandmas. Geese, would you like to read our read our question this week from RD Fine?
This question from RD Fine goes as, hi friends, I missed out on Pokemon growing up and only gave it a shot when Pokemon Go had been around for a few years. Turns out, I adore the few games I've tried so far, as well as the anime. What games, shows, entire franchises, Pokemon related or not, did you let pass by the wayside as a kid? What?
It was one too many to, like, it would have been, okay. I was already a little laughing because it kind of sounded like you said wayside in a southern accent. One of those words you said sort of in a southern accent, but then you said the line, it was the third time that got me. If it was once, normal. If it was twice,
I was giving
normal.
you enough cuts.
Thank you, Geese.
You let pass by the wayside as a kid, only to discover you enjoy it as an adult. Thank you, Artie Fine, for the question.
Thank you, Artie Fine. When I read it, I said, ooh, good question.
So, personally, and I wouldn't say this is a franchise, but I got really into the Spice Girls during the pandemic, and although they were kind of around as a kid, it was kind of past my time, but I got to really appreciate them.
Geese means before her time.
Thank you.
Geese is not 50.
Another thing is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ooh.
I never watched the show when it was coming out, but I began watching it like a couple years after it had ended, and it's quite good.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think a lot of people jumped into Avatar: The Last Airbender after it was airing on Nickelodeon. They probably caught it on Netflix. I don't think, because I was about to answer with some shows that I watched as the final season was airing. So, people talk about Lost or Breaking Bad, shows like that. And what would end up happening is every single season, it would get more and more viewers because more and more people are talking about it. And so I would binge all the episodes and then watch the final season live. That happened a few times, but I actually don't think that's what Artie Fine is asking. He's talking about the entire thing is aired and now you're watching it later. I was going to say Trailer Park Boys, but no, same thing happened there where I watched all the early seasons. And then after I finished, they started putting out more seasons. So that's still watching it as it's airing. Let me think. What did I watch way after the fact? Twin Peaks. You can say the same thing.
Sopranos?
Also, Twin Peaks. I'm like a little kid. I watched Sopranos after the fact. Yes. Although, oh God. The first episode I watched, because my family was watching it live, was the most spoiler-filled episode you could possibly ever watch in your life. So my entire viewing was a little tainted by that, but it was still incredible. A series that I didn't come into until way later. I probably should have thought about the answer to this before. Oh, let's go for some of these movies that Taylor and I watched. We discussed on one of the episodes he was here. So let's go with Puppet Master and Doll Man. All these
Doll Man.
Oh God, these movies. He's a very small man is the plot of that movie series. So anything from Full Moon Productions that came out in the 80s and early 90s, I came to that super late, but I'm super on board. I was very excited about so excited when they followed me on Twitter. They need all the fans they can get. All right, that's the answer to my question. Thank you, Artie Fine. It was a great question.
All right, let's wrap this puppy up because I have to pee really badly.
As do I, Geese and Guyera. We both gotta pee.
Okay, bye.
Oh my God. Okay, goodbye.
What? What else is to say?
No, there's nothing to say. That's what I'm saying. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Hey, but goodbye. Thank you for listening. God, please, Jesus, come on, guys. Watch on listen on. You can listen on the podcast services as well as YouTube. Okay, goodbye.
Goodbye. Howdy, y'all. It's me, Geese Pete. Thank you for listening to the Geese Pete Productions podcast.
Geese Peep Enterprises, doing business as Peep Industries, together with its subsidiaries, is a diversified worldwide entertainment company with operations in media networks, talent management, parks and resorts, multimedia entertainment, and consumer products and interactive media. Geese Peep Enterprises is a Dow 30 company.